Hello guys, this is the Epiphany. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a new Dofus set planning website, which is called DofusLab. Before I go into that, I just want to say that I'm a little bit disappointed in the game at the moment because the Hypermage class, the Forgonaut class, the Sacria class are getting nerfed quite badly, and I'm starting to think that my Fekka is actually going to be more useful than my Hypermage on Echo, because, especially given the fact that the main Colosseum team and the main Perceptor attacking team of my guild includes a Forgonaut, Sacria and Hypermage, and all three of those classes are getting nerfed, so that's pretty unfortunate. The nerfs are still in beta, and it's going to come out with the Pandawa update that's coming, I think, in 1 or 2 weeks maintenance from now. So that's pretty unfortunate. And considering the fact that every single time I release a like a class tutorial, the Hypermage tutorial, and Karma always nerfs the class and changes the spells, just like they did with the Osa class a year ago when I made a tutorial on Osa. So that was pretty annoying. But basically the website is called DofusLab, and you go into Google DofusLab and you click on the first one, dofuslab.io, and it comes up with a black looking website, and you can have DofusLab on the left here, or if you click this once, it'll change it to classic mode, which is also simpler and is the one that I recommend you use. The reason it's simpler, and it's also very similar to the old Dofus Planner website. As you can see, all the stats here, they're laid out and grouped very nicely. So you want to sign up, make an account or log in. Doesn't matter. I already have an account, so I'll be logging in shortly. You can also change the language. Currently it's available in English, French and Italian. And there's also a Discord option here where you can join the Discord and give feedback or whatever. You can contribute on GitHub or buy us a coffee, which I think is donating money. But this website is free to use, which is why it makes it a very nice website. Speaking of the Discord, I'm actually in the Discord and got to give a shout out to the founders, Jeremy, Slack and Havoc. I'm pretty sure there's another founder, but he's not online at the moment. I promised the Jeremy guy that I'd actually make a video to promote DofusLab, a long time ago, but I haven't had the time. Now that I have the time, I'll be making the video on DofusLab. I'm also going to be revealing a cheap PVM Pandawa lock set, which is very cheap and it does the job for level 200 endgame dungeons for tanking purposes. I've had a lot of requests to reveal a cheap Pandawa lock set, so I'll be doing that at the end. Okay, so I'm just going to sign up. I'm going to log in now. Okay, so once you are logged in, there is an option here that says My Builds and also My Accounts, where you can change your password. It's very simple. You go to My Builds and then you can see all the sets that you've made already. If you're new to this website, there is not going to be previous sets that you've made, but rather a plus new build button here. Register that you're making a new build. Okay, so the thing about this website is that it's very simple to use and it's very easy to add or remove exo mages and stuff. I'm going to show you by making the set here. Okay, so the first hat that we're going to use is an Anna Reese helmet. So what you're going to do is simply click the icon for hat and then it'll come up here, and you can filter certain stats you want. So for example, if you want vitality, then go vitality, and then it comes up as a tag. So now it displays all items that give vitality. And now let's say you want critical, put the critical filter, and now it'll come up with all items that have vitality and critical. The good thing about this is that unlike Dofus book actually changes the entire website. It goes to a new website when you do this, but DofusLab here, it's all in one and it comes up very quickly. So like I said, the hat that I'm using is Anna Reese, so I'm going to click that. Let's go over the title and the level. So if we want to change the title, we can click that, and then let's say we do Pandawa lock, no exo, no overmages. Obviously, since that's the reason why the set is cheap. Level 200 as well. You want to leave it as level 200 because if you change it to, let's say, level 199, then when you search up items, it won't display any items that are level 200. Let's press OK there. Then it changes the name. It tells you when it was made and last modified. Now you go to the cloak. The cloak I'll be using is Anna Reese cloak, obviously to get the 2 set bonus, which gives additional resistance and MP parry. MP parry is somewhat useful for a Pandawa lock set because you want to be able to not get MP raped. So you can run up to enemies, pick them up and then put them down beside you to lock them. Because the whole purpose of a Pandawa in a lock set is to basically position and tank the damage. So you want to, be able to do that efficiently. The belt that I'm using is a Beltine. So let's go Beltine there. Search up Beltine. And then the boots I'm using is a Paphogastrix. The Beltine I chose because it gives 1 AP and decent resistance, MP parry as well. But in terms of damage, this set is going to be, not doing any damage because you're full tank and lock. These Paphogastrix here, chosen mainly because it gives 1 AP, 1 MP, and it also gives lock. Alright, the amulet that I'm choosing is a Hierophant amulet. This is probably somewhat expensive, like 4 or 5 million, but it's not. We're not going to have any extra mages in this set, so we need this item because it gives 1 AP and 1 MP. Alright, one of the rings I'm using here, it's called a Pauquatnos ring. However, I forgot what the spelling is. Well, actually, I didn't forget how to spell it, but for the purpose of the video, I know that it gives lock. I know that it gives MP. So here we go, Pauquatnos. And you see, the useful thing about this is that it tells you that you have 1 empty slot. So remove the filters and pick the other ring, which is a barbaric wedding ring, gives nice resist and lock. Okay, so that's that. Now the weapon we're using is an Airmin's rolling pin. Airmin's rolling pin gives nice resistance and lock, which is important. And now let's look at the resistances: 34, 41, 44, 37, 54. The final shield that we're using is a 7 years bad luck, and that's for the lock and the melee resistance. Since you're going to be going up to enemies and ending right next to them, they're going to be hitting you in melee and then ending in your face, so you need to have the melee resistance. And it gives 20 lock, which is nice. Okay, characteristics here: the base, you have 995 to distribute, and the scrolled, so let's click 100 here and it'll put 100 into every scroll. And useful thing to do would be to put 100 agility for 10 lock and 10 dodge, and then put the rest 895 into vitality. Okay, so that's pretty much the basic set. You can see 34, 51, 44, 37, 54% resistance. 50% resistance is max, so even though you have 51% in the game, it's going to be displayed as 50%. Okay, so let's have a look here. We have 5.1k vitality, we have 10 AP, 6 MP with no exos. So that means one of the trophies that we put, let's tick trophy to narrow the results, but you don't have to. One of the trophies we put is going to have to be a shaker because we need to get 11 AP. So we put shaker on. And then we will choose the lock trophies because we need additional lock. So I forgot the names of the trophies legitimately. So I'm going to tick lock there for the trophies with lock to be displayed. Okay, so we have major obstructor and major stickler. Just click those two, and as you click them, it tells you how many slots you have remaining. Now that we're done that, we need an emerald Dofus because you're going to be ending your turn next to monsters, so getting the shield is nice. And then we're also going to getting a major miracle man for an extra 320 vitality. Okay, so let's go back now, and that'll get us back to the original page. Alright, so that is pretty much the set. We're at 157 lock. It would be appropriate to use a well, my recommendation is to use a pet that gives lock and possibly lock and initiative, such as a Snowfalx. Snowfalx here, 2000 initiative and 50 lock. However, I believe that this pet level 100 costs about 10 million karmas. So you might want to get one that is level 80, for example. It'll give 1600 initiative and 40 lock, which is still not too bad. Because a level 80 pet will cost around 2 or 3 million, but then a level 100 pet will cost 10 million. So yeah, so this is the set. The final trophy, use whatever you want. If you have an Ivory or an Abyssal or a Dokoko, use that. It's up to you. But this is pretty much my Pandawa lock set that I would get for my panda if I had one. Now that we've gone through the basics of how to add items to the set, when you put your mouse on the item here, you're going to notice that there's a cross. So obviously pressing the cross will remove the item. And you also notice that you have some options here. Let's go through what they are. Okay, so this thing here is an AP EXO. So if you press that, it'll AP EXO the item, and the EXO or Overmage is displayed as blue. You can see here, which is nice. So obviously you can't have 12 AP in this set because of the ring and amulet requirement. So it tells you that you can't use the... you can't have 12 AP because it doesn't meet the requirements of these items. So you're going to have to remove the EXO. But like I said, this set was designed so that you do not need EXOs. Yeah, so this option here next to that is MP EXO, same story. Click it again to remove. This third option is range EXO. So if you want a range EXO, you can do that. Obviously you can't have 2 range on an item though. So if you want a range EXO, you'd have to do it on an item that doesn't have range. And lastly, we have the mage option in general here. So if we press mage, it'll come up with the stats of the item. You might remember this to my previous video where I explained how to order an EXO. So that's pretty much how you order an EXO in this interface. You set the stats you want, you take a screenshot and you post it. Now, if we want to EXO-mage onto the item, so EXO-mage is defined as adding a stat that doesn't already exist. So you have to go this option down here. You notice that some of the stats are blanked out, such as air resistance, because air resistance already exists on the item. So if you want to add air resistance to the item, it's called an Overmage. So you press up, and that would be a 3% air resistance Overmage. Let's bring it back down. So for example, I want to add 3% water resistance. So let's search up water there, and then we go up to 3%. And then you press OK. And then now the item, you know, just like the rings before when we had a mage on it, has this little icon at the bottom left here indicating that it's maged. So that's how you add an EXO to the item. Now this is pretty much my set. I'll be linking the set in the description box below in case any of you want to copy it. Because a lot of people have requested me to make a Pandawa lock set that is cheap. I think this set is worth approximately 25 or 30 million karmas, which is, you know, borderline cheap. That's how much usually sets cost at level 200 that are cheap anyway. So 25 or 30 million. The website groups all of the similar stats together. So you have all the dodge and lock here, all the parries and reduction here, resistances. You got all the types of damage here, which, you know, include the stats from the shields. You got the elemental damage, you have the trap, reflect damage, and you have, you know, power here, which is alongside the rest of them. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so that's the set. I'll link that below. But before I end the video, I want to go on to one of my other sets. Okay, so Hypermage Air. This is actually the precise set that I'm using on my Hypermage right now on Echo. All the Exo-mages are written in as well. So, you know, I have no worry showing you guys the set, since I'll probably be changing set or class anyway. Because the Hypermage nerf is quite bad and affects the style of gameplay that I play. So as you can see, every item except the pet has the icon at the bottom left indicating that the item is overmaged or exomaged. And if you go through and you look, whether it's an overmage or an exomage, the item displays the stat as blue, which is very nice because it stands out. Now the advantage of this is because you can tell that it's overmaged or exomage, as opposed to Dofus book, which displays the stat in the same color. So one problem I find with Dofus book is that you have to actually, use your brain and think, what's the normal stats on this item, and how much it's overmage or exomage by. Whereas on here, you can just see the writing in blue, and you know immediately that the item is overmage or exomage. So yeah, that's pretty much the set. The final thing I want to show you is the weapons and spells. So this set here is currently for a Harper Mage. So if we choose one of the classes, so let's do Harper Mage. You can actually test how much damage your weapon and how much damage your spells do wearing the current set. And you can test the weapon damage with weapon skill as well. So currently it's in melee, but if I switch it to ranged, it's going to do more damage because I'm using a stalag shield. So this is how much damage the weapon would do without any buffs and without a crit, 1.2k to 1.4k. You have all the spells here. You have the variants of the spells as well, so you know what the variants are. There's a description of the spells in English. It tells you what the spell does as well. It's a very, very nice website. So let's have a look at Astral Blade here. So spells can be level 1, level 2, or level 3. Obviously, you know that the spells will level up along with your level. So if you're level 200, then your spell will be level 3. The variant, I believe, is only level 1 and level 2. So Astral Blade here, 713 to 761 damage, no crit, which is pretty decent. Yeah, you can do that for any class. You can change it to, let's say, Heliotrope. And Heliotrope, the spells come up for Heliotrope as well. However, I don't recommend using this for Heliotrope because the damage is inaccurate, because as an Heliotrope, you'll probably be hitting through portals. Yeah. So, just to summarize the video, DofusLab, very great website for planning sets. I highly recommend joining the Discord, because the people in the Discord, post regular feedback, developmental updates, bug reports. So the website is actually improving, on a daily basis. The people who make this website take this very seriously, and that's something I respect about them, because DofusLab could be the future of set planning. I highly recommend the website, much better than the Dofus book. So yeah, let me know what you think about the website, or if you have any questions, and I'll see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.